Cool, I'm riding with the thoughts. Go. I just spent 100 on my watch. Oh, I think they like me. Yup, in my white tee. But I just looked all back again. Let me pause that real quick. Guys, it's time to grab yourself a cup of tea because this is gonna be a talker. My thoughts, my feelings of being a black woman. What is it like? What is it like to be a melanin chocolate drop in this big world? Stay tuned. My raw thoughts and opinions and feelings about being a black woman. Now I'm gonna start all of this off by saying I don't want this to be a rant, angry black woman, which I'm even gonna talk about. Even if you're not a black woman, I think it's important to know about everybody's viewpoints and perspectives in the world. And this is not to say that every black woman thinks exactly the same, because that is also problematic in itself. Not every black woman is angry, not every black woman is, I don't know, rowdy, whatever you want to say. We are multifaceted. Okay, I love that word, multifaceted, which means you can twerk on a Saturday and you can write code on a Monday, or you can make a YouTube video on a Thursday, and you can go to church on a Sunday. And I think it's always problematic when you box somebody or a class. You always try to connect the motherfucking back, think somebody outside the fucking circle. I don't know why that happened, and we don't need to be hearing no Usher after we heard what he got going on. Let me know if you talk too much. I think the first thing about being a black woman is just being black and being a woman, or being a woman and being black. And you hear it a lot, it's a double disadvantage, but it's only when you really deep it really is. Because the thing about, let's start with being a woman first of all, because whether we like it or not, this is a very patriarchal society. It's a very male dominated society, just in every way. I don't even need to get in too deep about that. So many things are more tailored, I'd say, and more accommodated towards men than females. It's kind of like we have to work around the system in a way, and we have to do a little bit more just to be respected. And I think a lot of it comes from just how a woman is viewed in general. Even if we are viewed as equal, I think one of the big problems for me is I don't like the feeling of being viewed as like a sexual being, if that makes sense. I'm just there to be attractive, and if I'm not attractive, then my opinion doesn't matter. Or if you don't find me attractive, then my opinion doesn't matter, or you won't ask me. It just angers my soul. The more my own confidence grows, it doesn't matter to me. But I just feel bad for younger people that don't have that security in themselves, feeling like, oh, he's not gonna notice me unless my hair is like this. But guys don't have to think about that. Guys say, oh yeah, she's not gonna notice me with the shape up. But at the end of the day, I've seen plenty of guys with zigzag shape ups, and they still secure the girl of their dreams just by doing 1-2 sweet whispering, a couple sweet nothings in their ear, please. But yeah, that's just an example of the way women are viewed in society and treated. And a lot of the time, if you are a dominant woman, or if you're a woman that is about her business, then you're seen as a big ITCH. Like, what's all that about? How has me being about my business turned me into a female dog? Like, I'll wait. There's nothing wrong with being short of yourself. There's nothing wrong with being short of where you want to go. There's nothing wrong with being smart. A lot of the time as women, we'll be like, oh, I'm not really that good at that, or oh, I can't really do this, I don't believe my, like, and waiting for someone to reassure you. You shouldn't have to wait for that reassurance or that cosign from another person or another man or anything like that. You just need to soldier on through, like, build your path so that 10 other women behind you can walk along that path and build those steps further and go up the ladder, because that's what life is actually all about, progression. So that was a very long-winded way, which is what I said, listen, you better grab your cup of tea, because even my throat is feeling parched talking. Yeah, that is my long-winded way of saying being a woman does put you at a disadvantage. And in me saying that, it doesn't mean you should stay in that and play and be like, oh, I'm in a disadvantage, that's why I can't do X, Y, Z. No, do those things. It may be harder, but once you've done it, then 10 other people behind you can do it, and it just becomes a chain reaction. You should never let your disadvantage stop you from actually progressing, but you notice it. So that's being a woman in a patriarchal society where all the men is like, we in control or whatever. Even if we ain't in control, we in control kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hate that. Then, my dearies, there's being black. Now, I think these days a lot of people might feel like, oh, black people are using the black card a lot, and I think what it is now more than anything is people are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I think now there's a lot of awareness of a lot of the disparities of black people and a lot of the struggles that they face just in the color of their skin. And don't you find that so crazy that just because of the skin color that you was born into, that you didn't choose for yourself, like people can look at you and think they are better than you just solely based on the pigment in your skin? That is crazy to me, and it happens so much. And the thing is, for me personally, overt racism isn't as bad for me, or I don't even want to talk about racism, but just overt like ignorance and prejudice, I don't even mind, because you can G-check that straight away. If you see that, you know what it is and you can call it for how you see it. But it's the little covert things, like the little statements and comments that people make. Half of you is like, what's that? And you don't want to do that, because then you don't want to come across as a stereotype angry black person. Oh, it's not that deep. Da, da, da. It just really messes with your mind. And as a female and as a black female, those two things combined, oh my god, it's a lot to deal with. And you have to literally, there's so many ways you can deal with it. You can brush it off all the time, but then I feel like eventually you just get frustrated and people walk all over you. Or you can address it every time, but then you might come across as an angry black woman. Or you can like pick and choose, which is what I think is best to do. Sometimes you know the right time to G-check someone. You know this person is going to take heed of what I say and this person isn't. And it's not your job to change everybody's view of you as a person, but your job is to make sure that you in yourself are secure and no one can tell you anything that will affect you and that will halt you and your progress and where you're going in life, you know? I think that's just the main thing. Respect is everything. Respect is everything, and it's earned, not given. So it's a thing of, even if someone's not going to give you respect, the way you carry yourself, they'll be like, that is a respectable woman, that is a respectable black woman, or whoever, whatever demographic you fit into. And I think it's so important to literally, wherever you go, make sure your presence isn't, not that you have to be the loudest in the room, but don't make your presence something fleeting. Don't try and dim your light and like accommodate everyone else in the room to the point where you're in the background. And I think a lot of the time that can happen as a black woman, because you feel like, I've got these two big, I don't want to say disadvantages, but these two big arenas that I operate in that a lot of the time may not play to my advantage, but you have to make it work somehow, you know? And I think being a black woman, faced with the angry black woman thing, that's really annoying. You could literally raise your voice a little bit and you'll be seen as hostile, you'll be seen as this and that. Whereas you may see somebody else that has experienced the same thing, they may lash out and it'll just be, oh, they had a bad day. You know what I mean? Why can't it just be, I had a bad day? I was listening to Kalani's intro to her album. Sometimes I'm a superwoman, but sometimes I can be an angry woman. Let me play it. Like, be right back. It's slip. Deep it.
To anyone who got lost in me, or to anyone who ever felt they took a loss with me, my apologies for the misunderstanding or the lack thereof. I'm sorry you missed the God in me, and I'm sorry you missed the light. I've practiced how to hold my tongue long enough. I'm afraid you're under the impression that I was made to please you. I was under the impression you understood me better. The truth is, I'm a superwoman, and some days I'm an angry woman, and some days I'm a crazy woman.
Mic drop. Did you hit? Listen, that's all. Like, some days I'm a superwoman, some days I'm an angry woman, sometimes I'm a crazy woman. We all have human emotions, but that does not define your whole demographic. Just because you see a black woman lashing out, now you're not going to start saying, oh, this is another angry black woman. There's angry every woman. There's angry everything. If you see a white man lash out on the road, which you can see a lot of times, you're not going to say, oh, angry white men again. No. I don't know, it's just a lot of problematic things like that. I just don't need to be done. And yeah, my solution is just, whenever you see something or you feel some type of way, you know, take a minute, and if you need to address it straight away, address it straight away. But it's more the case of, when you know it's something that could potentially hinder you, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed, because you can't be held back just because somebody else's prejudice or somebody else's, you know, profiling of who you are as a person is off. That's not okay. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but Hopefully it makes sense. I don't know. Yeah.